component within their degree. And I think one thing that we've been complimented on by a lot of even our international partners that send students to us for short-term study is the experiential learning that students can gain from a Lincoln degree. So we don't just teach a lot of our courses inside the classroom. We invite industry on campus to share their experiences with students, particularly students in the environmental or in the agricultural areas. They go out into the field to meet industry, to go onto farms, to hear from industry leaders and owners of businesses about how they operate. So also within that, students have practical work components that they need to complete their degree. So that's why we have, as I mentioned earlier, a higher percentage of employment compared to other universities in New Zealand. That practical component and that sort of practical teaching, I think is a real strength of what we have to offer. So look, that just concludes my brief presentation about the university. I would now like to introduce you to Dr. Carol Chang, who's going to do the demonstration class in personal finance. Carol, are you here?
Yes, thank you, Julian. Yeah, thank you. Can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you, Carol.
Okay, good. Okay, good. Okay, I'm going to share the screen. Good morning or good afternoon, everyone. My name is Dr. Carol Chang, and I am an accountant. I'm a senior lecturer from the, as Julian has said, from the Financial and Business Systems Department. And I'm going to just do an introduction to personal finance. So let me share my screen with you. Okay, can everybody see my screen? Oh, good. Yep.
Could you please zoom on this one a little bit more?
Zoom on it. Okay, I will put to video. Okay. Is this good?
Yes, that's great.
Okay, good. All right. Right. Good morning, good afternoon again. Okay, so I am going to do an introduction, but really it is an introduction to introduction, because personal finance is actually a very big topic. And when I do it for a course, I do it for one whole semester. Okay, so now I'm going to compress it into 25, 30 minutes. So really there are a lot of things that will not be covered, but it will give you a very brief overview of what personal finance is about. Okay. And of course, before I start, thank you to the organizers for inviting me to this presentation. Right, this will be the agenda. So I'm going to get them, not to get them to draw, but I'm going to draw. And we're going to talk about factors. And I'm going to bring in something called money personality. And we're going to talk about present, how to plot the path to the future, especially with so many of you are so young, you know, you have a bright future ahead. And of course, we will have a conclusion. So what do I mean by the dream? Every one of us has goals. You have, I have too, okay? So the first thing I start in my very first class in personal finance, I will ask my student, I'll give them an A3 size paper, I give them a pencil and I say, draw your dream to me. Tell me what would you like to do in 5 years time, in 10 years time. Okay, so I have one student who draw a big table. He sits behind the table with people in front of him. So he wants to start his own firm. He wants to become an entrepreneur. I have another student who draw a yacht in the high seas, you know, so he wants to travel around the world. So we all have dreams. So you can draw yours, but I'm not going to ask you to draw it now. I'm going to draw mine and show it to you. So this is what I want. Okay, I want a big house and a nice, pretty car where I can drive to the swimming club and to the golf course. When I'm tired, come home from the golf course, I want to hug my 2 four-legged animal friends. Over the weekend, I'll bring my friends along to my house and have a barbecue. So that's my dream, all right? That's what's that image in my mind. You will have your dream, okay? Of course, at my age, I want all this. For you, perhaps you want to become an engineer, you want to become an accountant, you know, you want to you have a bright business idea, you want to do that, whatever it is, draw it on this chart. Okay, so once you have that drawing, the next thing I will tell my students to do is let's start planning. Let's start planning how to create that path to your dream. Okay, of course, you also have to put in the timeline, whether is it 3 years, 5 years, or 10 years. But before we go into plotting the path, let's look at what are the factors that will influence financial decisions. When we talk about financial decisions, we are talking about money, the dollar and the sign, all right, the dollar sign. For you, I think it's the Vietnamese dong, okay? So that's what you're talking about. Now, we all make different financial decisions because we have different personal experiences. Our family background are not the same. We are at different age. We want different things at different age, okay? Our values, how we look at things, what is more important to us, what is not so important to us, are all not the same. Religion will also come in. So, you know, depending on the religion, we may have different way of doing things. Attitudes towards money, towards relationship, towards our friend, responsibility, habits. This probably will bring in your family background as well. You know, you may have different habits from me. So before we start talking about personal finance, we put all these factors that influence personal financial decisions into something called money personality, okay? In the field of finance, we will call this money personality. So what it means is there will be different personality. We all have different personality, okay? So what is your money personality type? I am going to use a US American clinical psychologist. She's also what I call a psychotherapist, okay? She's a psychologist that helps people to solve problems arising from money. So we have, there are cases where you have conflicts in relationship arising from money issues. Okay, so she helps people to solve this conflict, have a better, plan a better future using therapies, okay? Now, this classification is created by Olivia. There are many others in the market. They are all done by professional psychologists. So there are many, but essentially they all kind of talk about the same thing, okay, in terms of that. So let's look at Olivia Mellon's classification. The first one, she has what we call the amasser. Amasser comes from the verb amass, to amass, meaning to collect. Okay, so these people will tend to like to collect money. To them, money is power. Money is status, okay? So they like to collect money and they will always constantly go out and look for money. So, you know, if you hear something like, don't leave the money in the bank, go and invest in something, okay? Make money, make money. Those are the kind of people that are likely to fall into a amasser. Now, I must say you need to have everything, okay? Because within this category, you have what I call a spectrum. So you have some people that are not so strong amasser, then you have some average, and then you have some very strong ones, okay? So we all fall into a different stage, may I call that, okay? Along that spectrum. So people like this they can become very insecure if they haven't got money with them. So they're always thinking, make sure I have plenty of money. Then you have what the other group, which we call them the avoider. Again, avoider comes from the word to avoid, a verb. It means that these guys don't like to talk about money. Okay, it's not they don't like money, but they just don't like to talk about it. And probably people like this will not have a budget. And probably they will also not know how much they have, how much they have spent, and how much they owe. Okay. Then we have the third type. We call them the hoarder. The word hoarder again comes from the verb to hoard. It's just like those hamsters. They like to store food in the cheeks. Okay, so this hoarder does the same thing too. They will store money. They like to store money. When they have money, they will store it. And they are likely to be people that are very thrifty. They are not likely to spend on luxury items. Okay, so these people are quite hard on themselves sometimes. And they will find it very difficult to buy luxury items. You know? And if you hear people talking about, hey, you know, this is so expensive, that is so expensive, everything is so expensive, yeah, they are likely to fall into this category called the hoarder. And then we have something called, the next one, the money monk. The money monk means nothing, right? Usually monks do not have material possession. That's why it's called a money monk. So money monk are people who are quite simple, you know, quite simple in their living. To them, money isn't really very important. Okay, so because to them, money is not the most important thing in the world. I will talk about relationship. I will talk about ideals. I will talk about values and other kind non-money things. Okay, so if you hear somebody, oh, you know, I just lost $1,000, and they give you that face that doesn't show that they're upset, these are the people that we call them the money monk. And then, of course, we have this one that we all like a lot, the spender. You probably will have seen these guys, you know, they like to spend money, you know, they will go for it. Okay, it's all right. Let's take a cab. Forget about bus. Let's take a cab. Okay, it's okay. And they spend as if, you know, sometimes you think that they have unlimited money. And these are the people that are likely to pick up the tab during a dinner. They'll be the first one to take out their wallet and pay. And these people will probably have a lot of friends. Plenty of friends, you know, they will spend, and they like that, you know, when to them, spending money means on my friends is something that I enjoy. Now, there is no good or bad in any of these classes. They all have good and they all have bad points. Why do we even need to understand this? So that we understand our preference, our behavior, and we learn how to overcome the weaknesses and how to harness the strength of each. Okay, so there's no say a master is better than the hoarder, or the money monk is better than the spender, or things like that. So in my class, finance class, I will go through all this and we talk about the strengths and weaknesses, and then we discuss, you know, how could you do this and how could you do that to avoid the weaknesses. The second point is this, it is not either this or that. In other words, we all don't fall into one category called the avoider, or we all don't fall into one category called the money monk. We actually have something of each. Okay, so, but if overall we will have more of something, sometimes we have more of two, sometimes we may have more of three. Okay, so you can be a messer with a hoarder, with a spender or something, you put it all together. But over a period of time, we will be able to pull out the dominant two or three, okay? Rarely will people have just one. Usually common ones, you have two, dominant ones. And then for some people, three perhaps. Okay, so this Olivia Mellon, she's a very well-known psychologist. She has written quite a number of books, okay? And most of all this personal finance originate very much in America. So there are a lot of American psychologists with all kinds of classifications. So do we have time for, do we have a poll arranged? Because I've got some questions that, you know, we could try.
Yeah, okay, so I will host the poll here. Các bạn ơi, bây giờ chị sẽ mở lên một cái poll để cho các bạn mình sẽ làm khảo sát. Thì cái này nó sẽ là không có đúng hay sai. Thì các bạn chỉ lựa chọn vô bất kỳ cái phần nào các bạn nghĩ là nó phù hợp với mình nhất. Rồi, các bạn có thấy trên màn hình của mình chưa? I'm starting the poll, so everyone, can you see the polling in your screen?
Yeah, can you start one question
Yeah.
at a time?
Okay. So there is no right or wrong questions. You just choose whatever you think that's suitable to yourself. Rồi các bạn ơi, mình sẽ lựa chọn những cái câu hỏi, các bạn đọc kỹ nha. Những cái câu hỏi nào mà các bạn cảm thấy là nó phù hợp với mình nhất. Và sau đó thì mình click vô.
Can you choose more than one?
You can you? Did you say as can? You can actually, but you should just don't think too much about it. Okay, just choose the one that comes into your mind. That will be the real response. When you start thinking too much, you know, it may change your decision. So the first one that comes is a gut, so it's a response. So as soon as you get it, that's the one.
Rồi cô khuyên chúng ta là các bạn đừng có suy nghĩ quá nhiều. Các bạn cảm thấy cái nào nó phù hợp nhất với mình thì cứ mạnh dạn click vô cái đó là được. Rồi chị thấy cái poll nó đang tăng lên. Rồi các bạn
Carol, I think the poll was set up in 3 questions at the same time.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's okay. We can do all 3, and then we look at each one.
Okay.
Okay, cái poll đã bị dừng rồi. Okay, I will share the result here.
If you want to continue, you can relaunch, I think.
Hi, Dr. Carol, can you see the sharing poll result?
Yeah, I think that's the one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. We have only 3 options were chosen, none for the other 2. Right. So we have two highest one. Spend it on things I want, including gifts for others. That's 38%. So 38% of you chose that one. Figure out ways of investing it to get the best possible return. That's 38%. That's very good. That's very good. You know, so we have some business minds in there looking at how to make more money. And then we have some that says they were put off. Okay. So these are the ones that probably will not, the 25% probably are the ones that don't really like to deal with money. So they're likely to be the avoiders. And then we have those thinking of investing, likely to be the messer. And we have the spenders there as well, those who like to spend money on themselves or on others. Excellent. Let's look at the second one. I can't see the second question, can I? Can I do this? Oh yeah, okay, I can see the second question. Okay, when it comes to budgeting, my money, oh, that's a very high percentage. 50% says I take a lot of time figuring out how to have more money to spend. Okay, that's quite typical because many of you are very young. And we have some very disciplined one, take pride in following my budget closely. That's about 13%. We have one right at the bottom, 25%. I don't have a budget and I wouldn't know how to start making one. That's good. Personal finance is for you. Okay, that's a very good thing here. And then I have take pride. That's not too bad. That's at a young age to have 13% here. How many participants do we have up here? 28%. Okay, it's not too bad. Right, let's look at the third question. When I really want to buy something that's not in my budget, we have a very high percentage, 50%. I have to think hard before giving myself permission to spend the money. That is possible at that age because you probably don't have a lot of allowances from your parents and you don't want to ask your parents for money, so you go for that one. That's good. And then we have 38%. If it is important enough, I would tweak my portfolio. Otherwise, I'll forget about it. Okay. So that's where the values will come in, all right? How you determine what is more important for you. Some people will say money is important, possessions are important, but some say relationship is important. Excellent. Good. This is a very good idea now. But this is just this exercise is just to give you an idea of what are the type of questions that are asked to determine your money personality. Okay. All right. Thank you. I think we can close the poll now.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. So if you want to find out more about yourself, about your money personality, I'm going to share another website with you. Now, this is Olivia Mellon's website. Okay, can you see the website now? Yes. So this is where you can actually go. The questions are taken from here. I just took a few to give you a flavor, but actually you can try them here. Okay. Having said that, you can have an idea of who you are in terms of whether you are a messer, avoider, hoarder, or what. Having said that, again, this is just a simple free quiz for you to try out. It is not conclusive. To do one, you really have to do a proper conclusive quiz, okay, or questions that will then tell you exactly whether you fall into which categories. But do try to go into this website and have fun, okay? The key is to understand where you are, how you spend your money, how you manage your money, and how you record your money. All right, so let me go back to the PowerPoint slides again. Right. So this is the URL. You can go into it and try out the rest of the questions. Okay, so now you know where you are, you know your money personality type, you know how you spend your money, how you save your money, and how you invest your money. The next thing is to start plotting your chart to the future, okay? You want your goals, you need something, you want to have those, you must make an effort to prepare your path for it. But before you do that, you need to assess your current situation. Where are you now? If you don't have your starting point, you cannot plot a path to your destination, okay? So we will start off with creating your personal balance sheet and income statement. When we say balance sheet in accounting, we mean to say, we want you to make a list of all the items that you have. We call that an asset. And do you owe any people any money? We call that liabilities. Do you work part-time and have some income? Or do you get allowances from your parents? We call that income. And then you have your spending. You have to go take the bus, motorcycle, or whatever. You need to buy petrol, buy food, buy your clothes, whatever. You call that expenses, okay? I tell you an incident. I have one smart student who come to me when we were talking about this, and he said, my asset is my father, okay, because he gives me money. But I said, no, well, in accounting, when we talk about assets, to be considered as an asset, you must satisfy 3 criteria. It must be legal. It is, in his case, because his birth certificate will show that his father, that is his father. So it's legal. You must bring him benefits. His father give him money, of course, that's benefit. The third thing is, he must be able to control it. So I asked him, can you control your father? Obviously not, so that cannot be considered an asset, okay? So asset has to be something that is non-living thing. So your car, your money in the bank, your computer, that's your asset. Your liabilities, if you owe some people some money, that's your liabilities. So if you take assets minus your liabilities, we call that the net worth. So measure your net worth. That is what you have, your net. If it is negative, then you really have to work very hard, okay? Because the net worth should be at least positive. Or at the minimum, we say 0. If it's negative, you need to really work hard to see how you can increase your assets and reduce your liabilities, okay? The other one that we call the income and expense statement is your income minus your expenses equals to savings. So you have your income, how much you spend, the balance should be in the savings. Now, a spender, the money person, going back to the money personality, a spender will probably have the first equation. Have the income, spend whatever he wants, then save the balance. A hoarder, under the money personality type, is likely to save first, then spend. So which type are you? Now the key now is then to plot this, put all this down, and then you measure your net worth every year. It should grow, and it should grow towards your dream. Okay, so once you have plotted your present, the next thing is you must start plotting your path to your dream. So you have your present here, and you prepare. So if you want to buy a car, your dream is to buy a car. Okay, that costs, I don't know how much cars cost in Vietnam, but say it's $1,000 US dollars. So you're going to say, I'm going to save $100 per month. After plotting my income, plotting my expense, I know I can save $100 per month. So that's your individual goal. So my goal is to save $100 per month. Okay, and then until I get $1,000, 10 months, I will buy the car. All right, so that's what we want to do. You can have individual goals. If you have your girlfriend or boyfriend, then you maybe, if you have family, you can talk about family goals too. Okay, if you do it as a family. Now, if you do it as a family, when you plot your money personality, you probably have different personalities. So you need to talk through and agree on certain actions. These goals can be short-term, less than 1 year, or long-term, more than 1 year. And this goal should have certain criteria, okay, to make it a viable goal. If you do any goal and you say very vaguely, you know, I do this, I want something, I don't know what I want, but I just want something, that doesn't work, okay? So you must say, I want a car, and that car is $1,000, for example. So it has to be very specific, and you must be able to measure it. In other words, must be able to count it. And it must be something that is attainable, meaning to say it must be something you can reach it. If you say you want to go to the moon, then of course you can't, you know, it is. Of course, now I know some rich men are going to go do that, but you know, normal average person like us, probably going to the moon will be quite tough. Okay, so make sure it's something that is really, you can achieve it. And must be relevant. In other words, relevant to your dream, your long-term dream. And you must have a time. That means you must say, is it going to be 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, whatever. Okay, so once you have plot out, decided on your financial goals, the next step is you must write it down. Okay, don't put it all in your mind, because research has shown that if you write it down, you're likely to follow it. But if you don't just put it in mind, you are likely to forget it. Okay, and then plan your personal balance sheet and income expense statement. And then over time, you measure it. Are you getting closer to your dream? Are you getting closer to your goal? All right, so this is usually what we do in terms of the steps to financial goals. Of course, in a course, a semester course, we talk about a lot more things like budgeting. We talk about investments. We talk about compound interest. We talk about some financial concepts like time value of money. We talk about compounding interest. We talk about discounting. We talk about insurance. How can we use insurance to protect us against risk? And we also talk about risk and return. All these concepts can also be covered in the finance courses that we have at our faculty, but we also bring all this into the personal financial planning. Okay, so if you have some knowledge of some financial concept, actually you can help, it will help you in terms of planning your financial goals and planning your financial budget. Okay, so that's basically the steps that we take to do that. So in conclusion, if you have, you guys can start trying and do that in a very simple way, okay? But there's few things that is very important to pay attention to. Number one, don't become a slave to your plan. Okay, I have students who are so obsessed with following the plan. They bring misery to themselves. They become very unhappy. No, it's not supposed to be an unhappy thing. It's supposed to improve your well-being. Okay, for example, I have a student who came to me in one of those classes, and she said, I did follow my plan. I couldn't follow my budget. I said, what happened? And she said, oh, my brother came over from Australia with his family to visit me. So I had to bring them out to restaurants, to eat, to do this. I said, that's fine. And because of that, she overspent. I said, that's all right, absolutely all right, okay? Because that's her brother, relationship, all right? So be kind to yourself. If you feel that you have something you want to buy and you really love it and you really must have it, go ahead, okay? It just means further down the road, you have to tighten up a little bit. That's okay, absolutely all right. It's not cast in stone. It's not something you must religiously follow. Of course, if you keep giving yourself excuses all the time, then you need to review it, okay? So last but not least, relationship. Always remember this, relationship is more important than money. I have seen family relationship break down because of money, okay? So remember, yes, meeting your objectives is important, but it is not the most important. At the end of the day, it is your family, your friends, your brother, your sister, your father, your mother. Those are the more important things, all right? So with that, I will end my presentation. Thank you very much for listening to me. Any questions? I'm quite happy to take one or two questions.
Hi, Miss Lincoln. Hi, Miss Karen. Sorry. Thank you so much for your presentations. We have learned so many useful informations. Các em học sinh ơi, bây giờ chúng ta hãy đặt nhanh các câu hỏi cho cô nha. Tại vì là sau cái buổi học này cô còn có rất là nhiều cái chương trình khác cần phải chạy á, nên là mọi người hãy bật mic lên và tương tác với cô để mà cô có thể vui nha. Mọi người thấy là cô rất là nhiệt tình để hỗ trợ chúng ta. There's a question. Yeah. How could I take advantage of my personality types to achieve my goals?
Okay, it depends on which personality type you are. Okay, so each personality type has its advantage and disadvantage. Okay, so for example, for a spender, usually they will spend first, like I said, and then keep the balance. So we will draw a budget for them to keep a certain amount of savings and make it a habit. Okay, and we will monitor that habit over time. Of course, we'll do it step by step because it's very hard to break a habit when you want to spend all the time, you know. You want to have the fastest, most advanced handphone. Every time they see one, they get distracted. So there's a bit of discipline required. So there's a bit of counseling, a bit of talking, and a bit of monitoring. So we will usually say, start with a small amount of saving, save it, and then slowly increase the amount of saving. Okay, and then let them see their goal, match it to their goal. Because if they can see that they're moving closer and closer to their goal of getting, say, a car, then they're motivated. So this question is very general. It depends on that specific category you are in, because each category has different weaknesses and different strengths. Okay, and as I said, we all don't fall into one category, and it's not the same, because some of us can be weaker hoarder, and some of us can be average hoarder, and some of us can be stronger hoarder. So we have to be quite personal in that case. I hope that answers the question.
Yes, Ray, thank you so much. Next question is that those people working in personal finance need good calculation skill.
Sorry, can you repeat the question again? I didn't quite get it. I think there's an internet connection issue.
Yes.
Can you repeat the question again?
Those people working in personal finance need good calculation skill.
Right.
Calculation skill. Yeah.
Yes, certainly. Are you talking about the person that's doing the budget or the person that's advising the budget? The financial person, the financial professional? If it's the financial professional, yes, we do. You have to know finance concept. Okay, you need to know accounting and finance concept. So you need to understand, because like I said, what I'm giving you earlier is very simple. Behind that, there are also many other things we cover, many financial concepts we cover, such as time value of money, insurance, budgeting. Do you have to be good in calculation? Yes, but you don't need to be fantastically good. Okay, you must know how to use a calculator, and the rest you can be trained, you can be learned, and you learn as you learn, you practice, you understand, then you'll be better. So nobody jump from being nothing to being very good. Okay, we all go through a process of progression. So from knowing nothing to knowing a little bit of thing, and then to learn more things, and then after that we become good. Okay.
Yes, Ray, thank you. Next questions. How can I spend properly as a student?
You spend, okay, student, you probably don't have so much money. That's okay. You know, the most important is to spend within what you have. So if you have an allowance from your parents, or you do some part-time work and you have some money, the key is to make sure you know how much you have and what are the important things you want to spend on. Okay, then do that expense out and then prioritize your spending. This is very important to me, so I'll put it at top of the list. And then you work out a budget. So you say, I have, for example, you know, okay, I have to use US dollars because I'm not familiar with Vietnamese dong. So you have 100 US dollars as your allowance. You say, very important, I want to spend on food because I like to eat. Fine. So you put how much? $30. This is top priority. And you go down. You will probably have to miss something. But that's life, you know. Then you can think about, okay, if I need something but I don't have enough money, can I do part-time work? Can I wash the car for somebody and get some money? So that's where you start thinking about generating income. When you generate income, if you don't spend all your income, you will increase your net worth. Okay.
Yes,
I hope that answers the question.
The next questions. What is the difference between financial freedom and financial independence?
Good question. Very good question. Financial independence, as the word suggests, it means you don't have to depend on anybody. Okay, you're able to control and manage your income and expenses. It doesn't mean you have plenty of money. Okay, you can have limited amount of money, but you are contented. You don't have to come home every day or wake up every morning worrying about you haven't paid your debts, you haven't paid this. Okay, you are in control. Financial freedom is a little bit more idealistic. Financial freedom essentially means that, you know, you have a lot more liberty to spend, and you're probably going to be a little more, you're a bit more access to spend versus financial independence. In fact, as at your age, you should be trying to achieve financial independence so that you don't put on additional burden to your parents. Okay, and anybody can achieve financial independence. You don't have to have a lot of money. Okay, so you should achieve independence first before you talk about freedom.
Thank you. The next question is that I don't have a specific dream, doctor, engineer, or teacher. When I see difficulty in my life, plus in South Central unbalanced educations, I plainly think of ideas to improve that and create a better life is that a good dream or is it too far from reality? So it means that when she or he see difficulties, she or he wants to improve that thing, and she wants to ask whether it is a good dream or it's too far from reality.
Okay. Yes. Dream doesn't have to be financial. When I draw my dreams to you, I'm doing it financial because that's me. I'm an accountant. So also at my age, when I was young, like your age, I dream about being an accountant. But I have already achieved that dream because I'm an accountant now. But I have another dream. So I draw you my current dream. That's, so you see big dream, you see big cars and houses and things like that. So it doesn't mean you must have a big house, a big car and things like that. Okay, you can have all kinds of dreams. But the fact is you must first of all manage your finances. Okay, even if you are to say you want to improve the livelihood of a certain community, or you want to do something to prevent floods or whatever, hazards in your community, you still need money. You still need to eat. You still need to, clothe yourself. You need a roof over your head. So you need to be able to manage this first. So yes, you can have this kind of dream, but we are talking about then your needs become different. Your needs become more basic needs. You still need to do financial planning so that you can put this aside, not worry about this, and then go and do what you feel that could improve the community. Thank you.
Right, thank you so much. The next question is that, could you tell me more about financial impacts of the relationship? How to balance or subtract it from life worries?
Be happy, don't worry. Okay, now relationship, like I said, relationship conflicts conflicts or problems in relationship has to do, a lot of time it has to do because of money, because people hold on to money too hard, or they have a wrong perspective of money. So you have to always remember this. It's not about, money is not, like I said before, money is not the most important. Money is important, but not the most important. In my culture, I'm not sure if you have this in your culture. In my culture, we have this saying. We say, if money can solve the problem, then it is not a problem. It doesn't mean that we have a lot of money, but what it means is this, okay? If you have a problem, you have a relationship problem with your partner or with your father or with your mother, that is a real problem, okay? Do we need a big car to drive from one place to another? No, we can go on a motorcycle, we can take a bicycle, So many things can be achieved without having flashy things, without having big car. Okay, if you put your mindset in the right way, then you find that money becomes smaller, and then you can worry more about the relationship rather than worry about money. Okay, so it is not about subtracting, it is not about adding, but it is more about putting them side by side. I hope I answered that question.
Yes, that's great. Okay, the next question is that a financial advisor can work in a bank?
Oh yeah, of course, yes. The banks usually, beside the normal depositing and lending, they also have something called financial services. So you could actually work as a financial advisor in a bank, helping people to do financial investing or savings, okay? Putting money into the right instruments that suit their risk and life profile. However, I'm not sure about Vietnam, but in New Zealand here, if you want to be a financial advisor, you must take some exams, and then you must be registered, because there are a lot of things involved here. It is about ethics, and also because you're dealing with something that's very personal. But people's life, people's life decision, people hard-earned money. So there are certain conditions that you must meet to make sure that this person is honest, knowledgeable, and can be trusted.
The next question is that how can I estimate my monthly expenses, and which financial investment method do you think is beneficial, and is it the stock markets?
Okay, first of all, if you want to talk about expenses, work out your own personal income expense statement. Okay, work out how much money you get on a monthly basis, and then work out how much you spend as well, what you spend on food, transport, entertainment, necessities. Necessities are your everyday, things that you need to use. Like you need to buy stationery, you need to buy paper or whatever. Okay, work it out and look at it and see what you have. And then rank it to see which one is more important. If you don't have enough, then you may have to forego some items. Okay, but that's life. Okay, we have to learn how to accept, work out a budget that we're comfortable with, then learn how to accept it. And the second question is on the stock market. I wouldn't advise you to do stock market unless you are very good in it. Okay, make sure you know what it is before you step into it. Because stock market is a zero-sum game. Somebody sells, somebody buys, somebody wins, somebody loses. Okay, thank you. Next. I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
Oh, sorry, I forget to turn on. How do you think about crypto money? Is it a good channel to invest?
How do I think about what?
Crypto.
Sorry, can you repeat?
Crypto. Sorry, maybe I misspelling it.
Oh,
Crypto.
Crypto or Bitcoin. Yeah, Bitcoin. Yeah. Okay, got it. Yeah, crypto or Bitcoin. Oh, that's something very new. Okay. You have to be very careful, okay, because prices can drop tremendously, and it has shown. Okay, it has dropped tremendously. So, is it a good channel to invest? It all depends. You see, there is no good or bad no good or bad investment channel. We have to look at the investment channel versus our own risk and return profile. Okay. To a rich man like President Trump or ex-President Trump, he probably has a lot of money, so crypto is not really risky to him. But to us, where we have very little money, cryptocurrency can be very risky. Okay, so it's not about the instrument itself, but it's about matching the instrument to our risk and our preference. Right, next.
However, I would like to ask, are you going to have some other classes, right?
Some other classes.
Yeah. So how many you? Sorry, I mean that. Can you answer until what time?
Oh, it's fine. Maybe we are past time. Maybe we just select a few more questions. The rest you can probably get Annie to send it to me. I can answer them separately.
Okay.
I would like some very good or popular questions,
Okay.
I'll leave it to you to select.
Okay. There is only one more questions that in the chat box right now. I would like to study financial management. Are we going to study about personal finance in this major?
Okay, this one I have to leave it to my program director. Where is my Kwong? Are you there? Or can Annie answer?
You can study a Bachelor of Commerce in accounting and finance, I think. And while you don't have, while there is no major in personal finance, you do learn a lot of the financial skills to be able to manage your finance yourself. So, but as Carol said before, it is about your personality, your upbringing, and how you manage the relationship with money as well. So personal finance is quite, it's interesting, but what you're studying in our accounting and finance is to have that professional skills to manage a business professionally, but also be able to give professional advice. And that will involve in accounting and finance, and it will train you to become either working towards a career as a certified financial and advisors or analysts, and also professional accountant, like CPA or chartered accountant.
Yeah, just want to add one more thing, is that we have major in finance. So it includes investment here. It's a little bit bigger than personal finance. So if you are interested in personal finance, then, bachelor's of commerce, majoring in finance could be a good choice for you.
Right. Thank you, Kwong and Annie. I just want to add on some of the financial concepts that we study in personal finance are actually the same as studying the accounting and finance degree. So if you study the accounting and finance degree, you will have covered a lot of the concepts. And then from there, you can move on to do your certification. Okay, because if you want to become a personal finance advisor, like I said, because it deals with people, human beings, there will be another aspect of which you should study, which is not available in business. Dealing with a business versus dealing with people are not quite the same. But yes, the fundamental knowledge and the foundation that from which you get those information to become a personal finance advisor are there. So doing the accounting and finance degree will put you in good stead to pursue a career in personal finance as a personal finance advisor. Right, thank you. That's all on that.
Okay. Does Lincoln University have scholarship? Okay. I see that Lincoln University answered the questions already. That Lincoln University do have a scholarship for NCUK student between 5,000 New Zealand dollars to 10,000 New Zealand dollars to apply for. Okay. Is there any other questions? Hi, my lovely student. Is there any other questions that you want to ask?
Các bạn ơi, nếu mà mình đặt câu hỏi bằng tiếng Anh khó quá thì các bạn có thể viết là tiếng Việt nha. Chị Nhung sẽ dịch cho các thầy cô. Thì ngoài việc hỏi về môn học thì các bạn có thể hỏi về trường Lincoln University. Okay, I think at this moment, I think the student, they don't have any questions. Is Miss Myung still here? Okay.
Where are you, Nhung?
Sorry, I lost my connections. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Sorry, everyone, but I would like to introduce Miss Annie Gold. She is the international manager. And hi.
Thanks out, everybody. Thank you for zooming in today. Yeah. And thank you, Carol, for this wonderful presentation.
Yep.
I can
welcome.
see that there are lots of interest in this area. And I think I've learned about my personality.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Yeah.
I will spend first and think about it later.
All right, so we've got
work
to do on you,
question.
Yeah, there is one question in the chat box. So, Chị Nhung, can you please?
Okay, so I think that question is that their student is studying about historic in their high school. Is that okay for them to apply for a scholarship in economics?
Yeah, there's nothing to stop students to apply for scholarships. And I think the New Zealand education system is a bit different from, I suppose, from the what we are thinking is that if you want to study something, when it comes to the tertiary area, you can actually you can learn it. It's about whether you want to learn rather than you meet as long as you meet the academic grade. Yeah. You can always go through the foundation program to build the knowledge that you haven't got. So it's a really good way so you have that opportunity to change, and you should be able to have that choices to change.
Yes. Sorry, I will translate this answer into Vietnamese because I think that many students maybe care about this. Các em ơi, thật sự ra là đối với lại nền giáo dục của New Zealand á, thì ở bên đó hiện tại thầy cô không có xét dựa theo khối hoặc là các cái môn học một môn đơn cử như là bên Việt Nam mình, mà mình sẽ nhìn tổng quát vào cái học bạ của chúng ta và cái chương trình Foundation Program mà chúng ta sẽ học tại NCUK, nên là các bạn sẽ không phải lo là mình học một cái khối hay là một cái gì đó ở bên Việt Nam mình khác so với bên trường nha. Next question is the Lincoln Provide MBA program.
We don't have a traditional MBA. However, we have what we call a Master of Business. So there is no requirement of work experience. And you can come from any disciplines. For example, you have a bachelor degree in history and you want to study for our Master of Business in Finance. You can do it as long as you meet the English language requirement as well as the academic grades requirement. So those are what we call our top master programs. And the history graduate, for example, if he decides to become a professional accountant, he can also go through our pathway certificate to CPA, and then another 1.5 years of Master of Professional Accounting, and which that would take a total of 2 years.
Does Master of Business require GRE or Gmats?
No, New Zealand programs, generally speaking, don't require that. And for us, we are looking at your English language ability and your academic grades. The work experience is not required. However, if you do have work experience, it's always useful, but not required.
That's great. Vậy thì ở bên trường của chúng ta sẽ không có ngành thạc sĩ quản trị kinh doanh, nhưng mà có thạc sĩ về kinh doanh. Và cái ưu điểm của chương trình này là sẽ không yêu cầu học sinh phải có kinh nghiệm, và học sinh có thể học trái chuyên ngành so với chuyên ngành đã học ở đại học. Và ngoài ra thì cũng không yêu cầu GRE hay là Gmat. Nhưng mà đương nhiên là nếu như mà bạn nào có kinh nghiệm làm việc liên quan ở trong lĩnh vực này thì sẽ là một ưu điểm, một cái ưu tiên cho hồ sơ mình nha mọi người. Okay. Is there any other questions?
One question sent directly to my message.
Okay.
What are the top majors in Lincoln University, and which major after graduate, I can earn a lot of money?
Oh no, this is a $100 million worth of questions. If you really like money, if you really like figures, analyzing things, accounting finance is always good, because I've got my accounting and finance colleagues here. But I myself is a marketing graduate. I don't make a lot of money, but I'm really enjoying what I do. I think there is no such things as the most what subjects I should do to get a lot of money. It's more about looking at what your strengths are and what impact you want to make for yourself, for your community. And I'm going to challenge the thinking a little bit. So if you are interested in watching things grow, for example, be brave, study something like Bachelor of Agriculture. That will allow you to make an impact, for example. However, we also have the options for you to study Bachelor of Agriculture with professional accounting. So there are lots of opportunities, but ultimately, if you do things that you love, you are more likely to enjoy it, and happiness might be worth what we call money as well. But if you really like money, I would say accounting and finance, the safest option.
Yeah, this is a really tough question. I see that there is Mr. Cường Nguyễn. Xin chào thầy. Xin giới thiệu với tất cả mọi người thì ở trên màn hình của chúng ta sẽ có Mr. Cường Nguyễn luôn. Thì thầy cũng hiện tại đang là giảng viên của trường Lincoln University và thầy cũng đang là đại diện tuyển sinh của trường Lincoln University tại Việt Nam. Thì thầy Cường ơi, mình có thể share some of your experience in studying and working in New Zealand with Vietnamese students?
Hello, xin chào các em, xin chào các thầy cô và các em. Để mà nói về cái câu hỏi mà các bạn vừa hỏi xong là cái ngành nào mà có thể kiếm được nhiều tiền nhất ấy, thì đúng là thực sự bây giờ như mình đi làm rồi mình cũng thấy là không hiểu là cái ngành nào có thể kiếm ra nhiều tiền được, bởi vì đúng là nó phải phụ thuộc vào hoàn cảnh và phụ thuộc vào cái tình trạng kinh tế của thế giới nữa, đúng không ạ? Thế cho nên là nếu như chúng ta muốn chọn một cái ngành nào đấy để mà học ở trong cái đại học mà để đi làm mà nuôi sống được chúng ta, thì chúng ta nên chọn ngành nào mà chúng ta yêu thích. Bởi vì nếu như mà chúng ta chọn được cái ngành chúng ta yêu thích thì có những khó khăn gì trong khi học, hay là kể trong khi chúng ta ra trường, chúng ta đi làm, thì chúng ta cũng có thể có cái sức mạnh để mà chúng ta vượt qua được những cái khó khăn đó. Còn về cái môi trường học tập của trường Lincoln ở đây thì giống như thầy Julian hay là cô Annie vừa giới thiệu với chúng ta, thì nó là một trường tương đối là nhỏ, nhưng mà bởi vì nó nhỏ nên nó có cái lợi thế là cái giao tiếp giữa giáo viên và học sinh rất là gần gũi. Chúng ta có thể hỏi giáo viên bất kỳ lúc nào cũng được, và bất kỳ có một cái gì khó khăn trong học tập hay trong cuộc sống, chúng ta đều có thể tìm được người mà giúp đỡ chúng ta. Không như những trường đại học lớn thì ví dụ chúng ta tham gia vào những cái giờ học mà khoảng 300-400 học sinh, thì cái việc mà chúng ta tiếp cận được với giáo viên là tương đối khó. Thì cái đó ở bên này là có một cái lợi thế là như thế. Cái thứ hai là cái môi trường bên này thì rất phù hợp với học sinh, bởi vì nó là môi trường an lành và rất là hiền hòa cho chúng ta. Nếu như đây là lần đầu tiên chúng ta đi ra nước ngoài, thì môi trường ở New Zealand là một cái bước lựa chọn tương đối đúng đắn để chúng ta có thể thấy phù hợp với cái thế giới bên ngoài Việt Nam. Xin cảm ơn.
Dạ vâng thầy Cường ơi, vậy thì em chắc là ở trong đây sẽ có rất là nhiều bạn đang phân vân giữa nhiều cái lựa chọn khác nhau. Thì theo thầy, người đã từng học và làm việc ở đây, thì thầy thấy cái ưu điểm của New Zealand so với lại những nước khác là gì ạ?
Do cái ưu điểm mình vừa nói với cả các em vừa nói với cả các em, đó là cái môi trường của nó. Cái môi trường của nó, môi trường hoàn toàn là phục vụ cho việc chúng ta học tập và để nâng cao cái kiến thức chuyên ngành của chúng ta. Đó là cái thứ nhất. Cái thứ hai là nếu như mà nói về gọi môi trường chung ấy, thì cái người dân bên này họ rất là tốt bụng và hiền hòa. Có thể khi mà các em đi lên trên xe buýt, nếu như mà các em không biết cái bến xe buýt nào các em tới, nếu như mà em hỏi bất kỳ một người nào trên xe buýt, họ có thể dẫn em tới đúng cái chỗ đấy, xong họ sẽ đi quay về họ đi đường của họ, chứ không họ chỉ cho em rồi để cho em đi. Đó là cái mà bên này hầu như tất cả những ai học bên này đều cảm nhận được cái điều đó. Cái thứ ba nữa là bên này thì khi mà các em học xong cái chương trình, ví dụ như là chương trình cử nhân chẳng hạn, ở bên này thì các em sẽ có một cái gọi là bridging visa khoảng 3 năm sau khi các em tốt nghiệp, để các em có thể ở lại New Zealand tìm việc làm, và để có được những kinh nghiệm làm việc. Mình có thể ở New Zealand hoặc là mình có thể xin ra nước khác, nhưng cái visa mà 3 năm sau khi chúng ta tốt nghiệp đó để cho chúng ta một cái kinh nghiệm cực kỳ quý báu để chúng ta có thể xin việc ở bất kỳ những nước nào trên thế giới. Đó. Cái thứ nữa là cái support của cái hỗ trợ học sinh quốc tế của tất cả các trường New Zealand cũng hoàn toàn rất tốt. Như chúng ta biết, ví dụ như các nước khác họ có hỗ trợ về học tập, họ có hỗ trợ về cuộc sống các thứ, như bên này có một cái đặc biệt là hỗ trợ về mental health. Thì không hiểu cái tiếng Việt của mình gọi ra nó là cái gì. kiểu hỗ trợ về tinh thần cho học sinh đó. Ví dụ như là trước mùa thi chẳng hạn, ví dụ như là mùa thi cho học kỳ 1 thì khoảng tháng 6 là mọi người rất là bận rộn và nhiều bạn học sinh rất là căng thẳng, thì ví dụ các trường có những cái hoạt động, ví dụ như một cái rất hay như là massage, ví dụ như là sinh viên đến massage thư giãn hoàn toàn như là trước kỳ thi miễn phí đó, ví dụ là một cái rất là điển hình mà chúng ta thấy rằng là New Zealand không những lo lắng cho chúng ta về cái mặt học tập, về đời sống, mà cái tinh thần họ cũng rất là quan tâm, đặc biệt là đối với sinh viên quốc tế mà chúng ta học xa nhà. Đó, cảm ơn.
Dạ vâng, em cảm ơn anh nhiều ạ. There is another question. So how about the COVID situation in New Zealand? Can I go to New Zealand this year?
Should I answer?
Yes, please.
Yeah. I just want to say that COVID has taken the world by surprise. So New Zealand's borders are closed for most visitors and it is likely to be closed for a while. The processing of temporary visas, including student visas for overseas, have been suspended till 6th of February 2022. So what it means is when people can't process the visas, it means that you are not able to travel to New Zealand. So you have a few options. You could study locally in a university or provider with NCUK, and then look at transfer to New Zealand later on when the borders are open. Or you could also look at things like starting your study with Lincoln through what we call remote learning or online learning. So we do have a couple of Vietnamese students that decided to log in, watch the lectures, and do the assignments in that context. So there is no right or wrong, but unfortunately right now there is the possibility of Vietnamese students travel to New Zealand for this year is not going to be possible unless you are able to come back under border exception. I also want to say that for Vietnam, we can't travel to Vietnam as well. So the closed borders is actually two ways. So personally, I cannot travel to I was very close in March 2020. I was in Cambodia wanting to get to Vietnam, but Vietnam closed and I had to come back to New Zealand. Yeah. So please look after yourself. It is a very, very challenging time. But as Dr. Carol said, be kind to yourself. Have some plan, enjoy life, but also don't be too hard on yourself if you don't meet your financial goal.
Yes. Another question, does Lincoln University support job opportunities for students after graduation?
I think the academic colleagues expect me to answer those questions. A couple of ways that we help our students to connect with the industry. So we don't necessarily give students a job because it's not our culture in some way. And part of the good things about tertiary educations is that building your ability to be independent, to think for yourself, to actually have that confidence to approach the job market confidently. So if you have done your homework during your study, which I'm sure most Vietnamese students will, then there is no reason why you can't find a job. But what our accounting and finance team, for example, what they do is often they will have field trips. They will visit industries. They will have on-campus accounting and finance career events. Professional bodies like CPA, they will come to do talk to our students on professional career opportunities. So those are kind of the ways of how we support our students in getting into the industry. But the current New Zealand immigration policy do allow graduates to apply for 3 years post-study work visas after they finish their study. So students do have that 3 years opportunity to go and find a job that I hope that they will like. Yeah. I hope that answer a very indirect way to tell you that yes we do, but not in the Vietnamese style.
Dạ, ở bên trường thì mọi người yên tâm là tuy là không có directly giới thiệu để mà mấy bạn vào ngay và chắc chắn 100% là được, nhưng mà trong cái quá trình học tập thì chắc chắn thầy cô sẽ cho chúng ta rất là nhiều cái kỹ năng và cái kinh nghiệm để mà mình có thể giành lấy những cái job khác nhau. Anh Cường ơi, thầy Cường ơi, em thấy là ở phần trên tin nhắn thì có nói là thầy sẽ giới thiệu về cái master về fintech, một trong những cái chương trình mới của trường á ạ. Thì mình sẽ giới thiệu trong buổi ngày hôm nay hay luôn sao vậy thầy anh?
Chắc là một buổi hôm khác em ạ.
Dạ vâng, dạ rồi. So we are going to the last questions and then we go switch to the Kahoot game. What is the lowest GPA or IELTS score required by school for the master program?
You need IELTS 6.5, no individual sub-score lower than 6.0 to meet the minimum English language requirement. As for the master academic entry, you need to have achieved a B average in your final year of your bachelor degree to be able to meet the Toastmaster requirement. For the Master of Business in Global Management and Marketing, Professional Accounting, but also the Finance, we do have a Toastmaster Merit Scholarships. So in your final year of your bachelor degree, if you have achieved B plus average or I think 7.5 out of 10 equivalent of your 10-point score, then you should be automatically get a 10,000 merit scholarship.
Great, thank you so much. Another questions, but I think that it is time for us to jump to the Kahoot game, and then I will send those questions to you. Laterly, we can answer them to the email. Hi, Lam, could you please start the Kahoot game for the students today?
Okay, so once again, I would like to say thank you to Dr. Carol, Miss Annie, also anh Cường for joining us today. And các bạn ơi, bây giờ chúng ta sẽ đến phần cuối cùng nhé. Today, we're gonna move to the last part. As also interesting part. We're gonna play Kahoot games. So everyone, I believe you know how to play it. So I will send to you the link kahoot.it, and then you insert the game pin, this one. Ok, rồi các bạn ơi, mình sẽ vô cái link mà chị gửi ở trong chat box nha, là kahoot.it. Rồi sau đó mình sẽ nhập mã code vô, mã game pin vô là 542 7829. Ok, hello Momo. Ok, rồi các bạn ơi, mình nhập tên của các bạn vô nha. Ok, chị sẽ cho các bạn 2 phút để mình nhập tên vô, và sau đó chúng ta sẽ bắt đầu game.
Nếu được thì mọi người nên dùng tên thật của mình để trong trường hợp là mình có thắng giải nhất và giải nhì thì VN Silent có thể dễ dàng trao cái phần voucher cho mình nhất nha.
Và một lần nữa là các bạn ơi, mình hãy chơi thật là hết với tất cả các sức lực của mình nha. Tại vì game này phần thưởng sẽ là bên VN Silent sẽ hỗ trợ cho mình các drink coupon trị giá 100.000 đồng Việt Nam. Ok, rồi chị sẽ chờ thêm 1 phút nữa để các bạn vô trong game nha. Ok, mình đang có 11 bạn, 12 bạn. Ok, rồi có bạn nào mà mình đang trục trặc trong quá trình lên được không thì các bạn có thể mở mic lên để chị Nhung hoặc là chị hướng dẫn cho nha. Ok, we will wait one more minute and then I will start the Kahoot game. At this moment, I see there are 12 participants at this moment. Rồi, còn bạn nào nữa không? Mình đang cố gắng truy cập vô cái này, hoặc là có vấn đề trục trặc gì thì các bạn cứ mở mic lên nha để chị hỗ trợ. Rồi, chị nhắc lại cái cách chơi cho những bạn nào mà mới lần đầu tham gia demo class của VN Talent. Thì trên màn hình share screen của chị đây, các bạn sẽ thấy được câu hỏi cũng như là 4 câu trả lời tương ứng với 4 màu khác nhau. Thì cách thức chơi, các bạn sẽ lựa chọn câu trả lời đúng dựa trên cái màu mà chứa cái câu trả lời đúng đó. Có nghĩa là trong màn hình game của các bạn sẽ không có câu trả lời, mà nó chỉ có 4 màu thôi, là màu vàng, màu xanh, xanh lá cây, xanh dương. Thì các bạn sẽ lựa chọn vô cái màu mà chứa câu trả lời đúng. Và mình không chỉ là trả lời đúng mà mình còn trả lời nhanh nữa, để chúng ta có thể là đứng hạng nhất cũng như là hạng nhì ha. Rồi, ok. Có bạn nào mình đang cố gắng truy cập vô mà chưa được không? Hoặc là chị sẽ bắt đầu trong vòng 10 giây nữa nha. Okay, we will start in 10 seconds. So, if you have any problems trying to connect to the Kahoot game, so feel free to turn on your mic. Okay, so I think I will start right now. Yeah, 13 students. Okay, let's get started. Okay, the first question. Ok, với câu trả lời đầu tiên mình chỉ có 3 bạn trả lời chính xác thôi. If you do not like to handle money, so you are an avoider. Okay, let's see. The very first questions with Katie. Katie, the highest score. Okay, the next one.
Chị ơi, cho em hỏi là em chỉ thấy trên màn hình em hiện ra 4 cái ô thôi, không có câu hỏi và không có câu trả lời.
Em có thấy màn hình share screen của chị không?
Có, nhưng mà
đúng rồi, trên màn hình của em là chỉ có 4 cái màu là chính xác, nhưng mà em sẽ thấy cái màn hình share screen của chị để đọc câu hỏi.
em hiểu rồi ạ.
Okay, rồi. So let's go back to the question. So there are 9 students who had the correct answer. So if you put 1 million Vietnam dong into a bank account, in 2 years time, you will have more than 1 million Vietnam dong. Okay, let's see. Katie is still in the first ranking. Congratulations. Okay. Right. Okay, the next one. Financial goal should be okay, congratulations to 7 students who got the correct answer. So it should be attainable. Okay, the next one, let's see. Katie is still in the first ranking. Okay. The word kiwis refer to oh, correct. If you are a New Zealand lover, I mean, you love the New Zealand country, so the kiwis, it refers to 3 items. So that means the New Zealand people, a type of fruit, and the last one is a type of bird. Okay, Let's see who has the highest ranking. Wow, Trung Quốc Sang, congratulations. Next one, the number 5. Be careful with this question. Oh, yeah, actually it's come from China. Let's see, about the ranking. So, okay. Oh, there's no strain. Can you see my screen, everyone? So, Trần Quốc Sang is still in the first ranking. Okay, congratulations. The number 6. The top export from New Zealand to Vietnam. Wow, that's so the top New Zealand's top export to Vietnam in 2020, it was dairy. Let's see, my wing. You are the first ranking now. Okay, the restaurant. So, okay, let me see the chat box. So you still have 4 chances to get into the first ranking. Okay, try your best. Yeah, that's correct. So when from this moment, whenever people talk about Christchurch, so please remember that's from Lincoln University. Okay, so Lincoln University is situated close to Christchurch. Okay, let's see. Mai Uyên, Dương, and Huỳnh Ngọc Vi. Congratulations. Okay, number 8. 3 more to go. Yeah, that's correct. Dr. Carol Chen and also Dr. Cường Nguyễn, they are belong to the Faculty of Agribusiness and Commerce. Okay, let's see. Mai Uyên, Huỳnh Ngọc Vi, and Trần Quốc Sang. Congratulations. Momo and Dương, try your best, and also the rest. Okay, the number 9. Yeah, the statement is correct about Lincoln University. So it ranks in top 100 in agriculture and forestry. Okay, let's see. Huỳnh Ngọc Vi, Mai Uyên, and Katie. Okay, so everyone, are you ready for the very last questions? Okay, here we go. Hopping around free at Lincoln campus. And the answer is the rabbits. Okay, congratulations to 4 students who got the correct answer. And let's see, for our top 3 students got the, congratulations to Mai Uyên, Huỳnh Ngọc Vi, and the first ones go to Quốc Chang. Congratulations. Okay, so the runners we have Katie and Yoon. Okay, thank you so much for joining the Kahoot today. So Sang, Vi, and Uyên. So after this demo class, you can contact to Miss Miss Nhung, chị Nhung. Okay, I will stop sharing my screen and thank you so much for joining this game.
Okay, thank you everyone. So this Kahoot game is really interesting, and for the two winners, please contact me in order to receive the gifts. And last but not least, I would like to say thank you to the NCUKIFY to connect us with Lincoln University. Especially, I would like to send my thank you to Lincoln University, Ms. Dr. Karen Chang, to have these presentations, Ms. Annie, Dr. Kung, and Mr. Julian for joining us today. And then, of course, the other 20 students. Thank you so much for spending your time with us today. And I know that lots of you still have many other questions. Please feel free to send to my email, so I will answer you and connect you to the Lincoln University or NCUKIFY. And in the future, I hope that we can host another meeting, another event to introduce about Lincoln University. Thank you so much for joining us today, and have a good day. Thank you so much.
Thank you everyone.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye. Cảm ơn.
Cảm ơn. Bye bye.
Cảm ơn.
Các em học sinh bạn nào mà có bất kỳ câu hỏi nào thì cứ gửi đến email partners@vntalent.edu.vn. Chị sẽ hỗ trợ liên hệ với trường để phản hồi tất cả các câu hỏi đó của mình nha. Ok, cảm ơn tất cả mọi người đã có mặt ở đây ngày hôm nay. Bye bye và hẹn gặp lại mọi người ở lớp học sau. Bye bye. Ok, chị sẽ để cái email lại ở đây. Mọi người có thể liên hệ qua công ty VN Talent bằng email này, hoặc là liên hệ với chị trực tiếp bằng email nhung.đỗ@vntalent.edu.vn nha mọi người. Ok, chị sẽ là người out cuối cùng. Nếu mà bạn nào có bất kỳ câu hỏi nào về việc du học thì có thể hỏi chị, hoặc là mình có thể hẹn vào một dịp khác, hoặc là có thể gửi qua email nha. Bye bye mọi người. Bye. Các bạn ơi, lớp học của mình kết thúc rồi. Nếu như mà các bạn không còn bất kỳ câu hỏi nào thì mình có thể out nha. Còn nếu như mà các bạn nào có câu hỏi về du học thì có thể ở lại đây để hỏi chị trực tiếp cũng được nha. Thank you so much everyone.
Tự nhiên muốn hỏi nhưng mà thời gian xa quá thì sao chị?
Ok, em cần hỏi cái gì em có thể hỏi chị nha, không sao.
Kiểu như là em theo chị, kiểu như em tính là nếu mà sau khi em học hết đại học á thì em qua bên em đi du học bên Trung á chị. Thì em tính là lên học thạc sĩ, nhưng mà theo chị thì nên học thạc trước hay là đi du học 1 năm tiếng trước rồi học kiểu như cho quen cái môi trường ở đó hả chị?
Ok, câu hỏi rất là hay. Em cho chị hỏi là bây giờ em đang học năm mấy rồi nhờ?
Năm 2 ạ.
Năm 2 rồi. Vậy thì trong trường hợp mà em đang học năm 2 rồi thì em có thể bắt đầu bằng cái việc là học tiếng Trung trước. Em có thể học và cố gắng đặt 2 cái mục tiêu là đạt HSK5 hoặc là ít nhất là HSK4.
Năm sau em tính đi thi HSK5 á chị.
Yeah, that's good, em rất là tốt. Thì em có thể học cái HSK5, và ngoài ra nếu mà có thêm thời gian thì em nên học luôn HSKK nữa. Chị nghĩ là em biết về bằng đó rồi đúng không?
Dạ có, em tính thi chung luôn đó chị.
Đó thì em sẽ học 2 cái đó trước, xong rồi em nên xin thẳng vào chương trình thạc sĩ luôn. tại vì chương trình 1 năm tiếng hiện nay á, cái loại mà tốt nhất đối với lại hiện nay thì sẽ là học bổng khổng tử. Em sẽ được miễn học phí, miễn ký túc xá và được trợ cấp là 2.500 tệ mỗi tháng. Tuy nhiên là nếu như mà em dự định là xin ngành gì ở hệ thạc sĩ?
Kinh tế. Em đang phân vân hai cái ngành này nè, tại vì em tính Đại học Hồ Nam á, chị biết đâu. Ở đó có
Yes.
ở đó có cái ngành kinh tế lý thuyết với kinh tế học lý thuyết với kinh tế ứng dụng. Em không biết hai cái đó là cái gì thôi, em không phân biệt được. Có nghĩa là em tính áp vào hai cái ngành đó, nhưng em không biết nên chọn ngành nào ấy, nhưng mà thiên về kinh tế đó chị.
Theo cá nhân chị thì thật sự ra nghe về ngành thì chị sẽ thiên về các cái ứng dụng hơn, bởi vì là nếu như em đi vào những cái mảng mà lý thuyết thì nó sẽ đi sâu về nghiên cứu hơn đó. Nếu mà em không muốn đi sâu về nghiên cứu thì em nên học về ứng dụng để mình dễ thích nghi sau này khi mà mình đi làm. Còn về cái việc mà em xin học bổng thì chị khuyên em là với trình độ HSK5 và HSKK trung cấp trở lên thì em nên xin thẳng vào chương trình thạc sĩ để có thể tiết kiệm về thời gian của mình, tại vì thạc sĩ bên Trung thì nó cũng đã là 2 năm rưỡi rồi. Và ngoài ra thì em sẽ còn cần phải gọi là tăng cái tỷ lệ đỗ học bổng của em lên đó. Thì thật ra hồ sơ của em HSK5, HSKK thì có thể đỗ thạc sĩ rồi, không có vấn đề gì đâu.
Không, nếu mà em đi du học 1 năm tiếng thì nhưng mà tại vì nếu mà em tính nếu mà thạc sĩ thì em nghĩ là HSK6 với IELTS nó có tỷ lệ tốt hơn chứ chị nhỉ? Tại vì em vẫn còn nhiều thời gian mà.
Thì thật ra là chị nói với em là nếu như mà em cố gắng được thì càng cao nó sẽ càng tốt cho em. Nhưng mà thật ra là thạc sĩ bây giờ thì họ chỉ yêu cầu là HSK5 thôi, nên là em có HSK5 và HSKK trung cấp thì em đã có thể xin vào thạc sĩ để mà mình tiết kiệm thời gian rồi. Còn thật sự nếu mà trình độ của em mà đạt lên HSK5 hoặc là HSK6 thì thậm chí một số chương trình 1 năm tiếng họ sẽ không nhận em, tại vì không phải là trường nào họ cũng sẽ đào tạo từ HSK5 đi lên nữa. Em hiểu ý chị không? Nhiều khi là họ chỉ mở ra từ HSK4 đến HSK, cho cái đầu vô là HSK4 thôi, mà lọt vô mình em HSK5 thì họ sẽ không thể mở một lớp chỉ là một mình em HSK5 được. Thì nhiều khi là hồ sơ em mà quá cao đi chăng nữa mà em nộp 1 năm tiếng mà trường đó họ không có nhiều bạn cùng cái trình độ như em nộp vào đợt đó thì nhiều khi em cũng bị văng cái 1 năm tiếng đó ra thôi.
Ok chị.
Đó nên là ở giai đoạn này thì chị khuyên em trước nhất là em cứ tập trung học tiếng Trung đi, và đương nhiên là mình học càng tốt thì nó sẽ càng tốt cho em. Và đến học xong học kỳ 1 năm 4 thì em sẽ bắt đầu tìm hiểu chỉ tiêu học bổng của năm đó, tại vì chỉ tiêu học bổng nó sẽ thay đổi theo mỗi năm luôn. Ví dụ như là năm nay em sẽ thấy là trường này họ cho em ngành ABC cho bậc thạc sĩ, nhưng mà có thể cũng trường đó nhưng mà năm sau họ cho ngành ABC nhưng mà là bậc đại học đó. Nên là mình bây giờ mình chỉ có thể chuẩn bị tốt nhất về phần ngôn ngữ thôi. Và xong học kỳ 1 năm 4 thì em bắt đầu là thi HSK nè, thi HSKK nè, thi IELTS, những cái gì em có thể làm đẹp hồ sơ của em và bắt đầu tìm hiểu chỉ tiêu của năm đó.
Ok chị, em cảm ơn.
Ok em, rồi không có gì đâu nha. Thì nếu mà có cần thêm thông tin gì thì cứ nhắn qua Facebook của chị hoặc là nhắn qua email của chị cũng được. Ok. Ok rồi, bye bye em, chúc em thành công trong việc xin học bổng nha.
Em chào mọi
người. Bye bye em. Yes.
Em vẫn xin vía chiến thắng cao hút trong những lần sau.
Chắc chưa bao giờ chiến thắng hả?
Chưa. Thế em tham gia từ đợt đầu đến đợt giờ mà cái số này nó lãnh đạm với mình quá.
Ok, ráng lên nha. Rồi còn không thì tham gia cái phần mini game ở cuối chương trình để coi như là nhận cái phần thưởng về cái máy tính bảng cũng được nha. Ok, bye bye em.
Em
chắc là chị cũng out luôn. Ok, bye em.